Hey friends, it is time to get busy in my bedroom and by that I mean it is time to change the sheets. I am not feeling particularly motivated this weekend. It is nearly 4 p.m. on Sunday afternoon and I'm only just getting started with anything that even remotely resembles housework. Now, I don't know if this is clean or not. I think it might be. Actually, I don't think it matches the blanket here in terms of the size. And probably benefit from being washed again even if it has been washed. Yeah, so not feeling very motivated. It is Sunday afternoon. This is the first thing that I've done. Actually, no, that's not true. I have actually been washing the dishes. So in the previous video, I kind of came to a point where I was like, oh, I got those new plastic containers to use in my sink and I didn't really like the shape of them in some way, that I didn't think I would use them. But I'm happy to report that I actually have been using it and I've washed the dishes in it like 3 or 4 times now in the last week, I think, which is like unheard of for me. Like normally it's like those things will sit there for, this really needs to be thrown out. Like this I think it's time for this to go in the bin. It's not very comfortable at all, it's gross. And yeah, it's visibly stained. That I'm keeping anyway. Actually, I have taken to using my sun hat while I'm sleeping, so it's like as dark as possible. I need to get a couple of new eye face masks to sleep with because sleeping in the dark just makes an enormous difference for me. I have insomnia and I've got like so many tricks, but any kind of light coming through still makes a difference, so I'm like, it's time. Let me know if you'd like me to talk about some of the things I do to help me sleep at some point. Maybe I should just talk about them. No, I don't want to do it now. I might like do like a short video of some like demonstrations or something of like things that I do to help me sleep. That might be cool. Yeah, okay, I'll write that down. Take this as a note. This is me writing it down, right? Me saying it is the same thing as me writing it down, is it? I don't know. I'll definitely have to write this down. My brain is not going to retain that. Okay. Yeah, so I have actually been washing dishes with it. It's been actually really good. So that is a major relief. It's not a perfect system, but it's definitely better than it was before. But aside from washing some dishes, I've really done very little. I slept all day yesterday because I didn't feel like I had anything to do. There's a couple of things I need to go shopping for, but it's been hot and I don't want to be out in the sun because I've got like skin problems. And so I kind of, yeah, it's the middle of summer. I'm just trying to avoid going out in the heat is where it's at. These are my favourite jumpers. It's got like stains and holes all over it, but I won't ever throw this out. Oh, this is my weighted blanket. So for a non-neurodivergent person, I think there's like different weights that they recommend. So if you just want something to help you sleep at night and you're not neurodivergent, they usually go with something that's like, I think it's meant to be like 3 to 5% of your body weight. And if you're neurodivergent and you're using weighted blankets for helping manage I know what this is, but of course my brain's like having meltdowns or shutdowns or anything like that. These can be really good for that. My one is actually slightly more than 10% of my body weight and I use it like I use it to sleep. I don't always sleep with it, but I do, not this time of the year, but I use this to sleep quite a bit, and as I love it. Give me a sec. I have written it down on the inside of a medication packet. It's there. It will get done. Now back to this. Oh, heavy blanket. It is so heavy. Like, I can't tell you. Okay, then. Honestly, this needs to be washed as well. Oh. Yeah, I was so chatty a second ago, and now my mind is going like kind of quiet. But that never lasts for long. Yeah, so I'm not feeling very motivated. I did get some dishwashing done. I think I need to get like some kind of like teeny tiny dishwashing brush thing that I can get like into the teapot funnel thing, because the inside of one of my teapot funnels is frightening. I can't use that. But yeah, filming these videos has been like super helpful for me to like motivate me to get things done, and I've had a handful of my friends like give me like really beautiful, meaningful feedback on these videos and how they've been watching them. I'm not going to like go into all of that, but it's like so like incredibly rewarding just to hear those few people saying that it's been helpful to them. So that's absolutely an enormous motivator for me to keep on doing this as well, and I really hope that it finds its audience and that people here who I don't yet know get a lot out of them as well. I am making these videos for people like me, people who are living with disabilities, people who are neurodivergent, people who are anxious or isolated, people who are queer, people who are just like struggling along in life. This is for you. And it's like the most unfiltered version of myself that I could be on here. And I just, yeah, hope that it helps anyone who watches it as much as it helps me. Because I would like be sleeping in these dirty sheets still if it wasn't for doing this. Okay, here we go. Ow! I'm fine. And here we are in my laundry. Here we go. And here we go. I will do that. There we go. And yes, I do have some weird crusty lint collected here because I had this idea that I will eventually, there's more of it somewhere else. Yuck. It's so gross, but this is me. Like dirty lint. I think the idea is that I'll eventually collect a whole bunch of it and make some fabric out of it and do something with the fabric. I like the idea of actually eventually like having a whole garment made out of it, but we'll see. That's like a long long-term idea. I need to like maybe get an actual proper container for that if I want to persist with it. Yes, this is on now. There's like an enormous pile of undone laundry that's been sitting here for far too long, and there's still a bunch on the floor in my bedroom which needs to be done, but that's all that's going to fit in the washing machine right now and still be effective. So I guess I will move on to something else. I'm not feeling very motivated to do the folding, but we'll see. I suppose I can at least take this into the laundry. Okay, pillow to the side, heavy blanket to the side. You're getting like a freebie of my feet, but they're ugly feet, so I suppose it's not a big deal. Here we go. Into the pile of unwashed stuff. While we're at it, I am showing you evidence of the cleaned, washed dishes. This is, of course, dirty dishwater. It's semi-dirty dishwater that I'm soaking a couple of things in, I think. I think that's what I'm doing. Wait, no, I don't think I am. I think that's actually just probably empty, and I'm soaking a couple of little things in here that are like tea strainer things. But I need like a sort of flexible toothbrush sized version of this thing to like fit in there and like scrub the little things more closely. But yeah, washed dishes, incredible. It's like a revelation. Okay, fuck it. While I'm at it, I'm going to at least have some level of attempt on the kitchen countertop. I talked about it in one of my previous videos that I was going to use these to organize the top so it's like slightly more aesthetic and slightly more functional. That's not the word I was looking for, but it works. Productive, functional, either way. And I talked about using brown paper to line these to help keep them cleaner for longer. So I'm going to do this first, priorities, and then I'm going to get on to this. And when I say this, I mean this. Right? To be honest, I would like to just pretend this doesn't exist. So if I do that, I deserve like all the gold stars, all of them. So yeah, if you watch this to the end and this happens to be done, you got to like give me a gold star. Give me that emoji. Hopefully this is within the frame. I'm sure it is. Oh, it's heavy. Okay. That's not really quite what I want to push and roll. Okay, heaps. Oh, this is an extremely straightforward process. Just do this and this. And we're not worried about the difference between the size of the inner part and the size of the outer part because we want this to like slightly overlap, come up a bit. Yeah, I might actually just pause a moment to check if this is framed relatively okay. It is close enough. Okay, here we go. This pen is probably too good a pen to be using to do this, but it was the first pen I found. And as an artist, you sometimes end up using artist pens for ordinary things, and it's always like a little bit punishing. But to be honest, I'm doing ordinary things more often than I'm doing art, and as such, or rather, I have
decided many times and forgotten even more times that the ordinary stuff is the art. This is the art. This is like so much more interesting in my mind than, I don't know, something that's really polished. For me, I'd rather watch videos like this made by even watching my own, and like other people who are like me. I'd rather be watching this and think of this as an art form than like something that's like super neat, tidy plastic on the wall. That's my feeling. I don't know about how you feel, but for me, this is the real art. Or, you know, a version of the real art, because there's so much out there that's incredible, but yeah, this is me making art. All of the things that I've been doing, avoiding making real art, is the real art. All the shit that I was doing before is also real art, but it's like been destroying my body and like also my soul. So this is like hopefully an alternative to that. Hopefully. And I'm not like exaggerating how uncoordinated I am. This is what I'm actually like. Like, I've not been diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I'm like somewhere on the scale of the dyspraxia thing. It is a, yeah. I am this discoordinated, uncoordinated. It is real. And it's like kind of amusing, but it's also kind of like I fall over on a regular basis and have like a messed up ankle, and like I know it's going to be a problem as I get older, because like eventually I'm not going to bounce as easily as I do now. That's something to look forward to, something that my ever generous, intrusive thoughts are reminding me of all the joyful things I have to look forward to as I get older. And it's like a thing where it's like falling over like stops being like cute, funny, quirky, and eventually becomes like a health risk, right? Ugh. But there we go. And there is like a big part of me that is tempted to leave the cut, like as rough as that is, but I won't, because I do want this to be something that's like good. My most recent episode, which I posted overnight, which will not be the most recent episode when this goes out, because there's at least one, maybe two in between that one and this one. Why did I start bringing it up? Oh, I'm doing an inventory at work, and I'm bringing it out now because I was cutting this paper, or attempting to cut a relatively straight line. Just reminded me of, I guess, an anecdote I could tell about being kind of uncoordinated and not being able to like use scissors very well. In one of the kind of the early, I've been in this position for just under a year, but it's a similar job to what I've had in other places. But I was sitting in on some of the workshops because I was new, and one of the workshops was this really beautiful paper cutting workshop, like intricate kind of style, artfully paper cutting, and they were like really beautiful paper and high quality scissors and everything, and like the ages that the workshop is recommended for is like ages 5 to 12, and I, being 38 years old, was sitting in, and the artist's like, oh, join in, there's some extra scissors, and so I kind of did. My cutting, I had more trouble cutting than the small children did, is like a way of trying to express or explain like what it looks like for me to do things. And even now I'm like, this is like taking a fair bit of concentration for me. And I'm sure there are plenty of people who also struggle with this kind of stuff. Like, hey, yeah, I'm going to get into it, I'm going to talk about like my experience of being non-diagnosed on the lower scale, higher functioning dyspraxia kind of thing, which is like, this is actually pretty good. I'm like, yeah, no, this is actually surprisingly good to me. But like, I mean, the scissors are not exactly the right size for me. They're children's scissors. But like having to really concentrate to cut a straight line, not being able to colour in within the lines, and having like colouring in activity to me is actually quite stressful. I'm not good at colouring in within the lines. It really takes my full concentration. I tend to grip, even now, like I'm gripping sort of hard and leaving with white marks on my hands. I grip things too hard, and I'm not like good at like varying pressure to get like different subtleties of colour or whatnot. And like it just takes a lot of concentration, and it takes a long time. It really slows me down. Not just in making things, but even though I'm relatively intelligent, not that that particularly matters, I tend to do things quite slowly. My brain just goes in so many different directions, and then also just doesn't go anywhere at all. There's lots of blank space in there, lost time, lots of dissociating. But I struggle to colour in, take longer to complete activities, even simple ones. I was, always, one of the last kids to get picked in any kind of team sport. I kind of talked about this a little bit before. Like, it comes in with like that sort of question of whether like neurodivergence is actually invisible, and my feeling on that is that it's not. I think it is visible. I think people pick up on it quite quickly, and even at a very young age. When you're a child that's neurodivergent or a little bit different, other kids pick up on it, and it's these things, these little awkward physical things that are part of that. Not just that, but like there's also social stuff, of course, which is if you are on the spectrum, autism spectrum, you're going to have a good understanding of that. I'm actually really happy with how this has just turned out. So that's it. Like, just cutting and folding a bit of brown paper in the bottom to help keep it cleaner for longer. That's that one done. Like being a bit uncoordinated, repeating yourself a lot, losing track of thought, not being able to respond to people's questions, because when somebody speaks to you, it kind of goes in, jumbles up and goes out the next year, and leaves you kind of stunned for a moment. It's a thing, and it is, people notice it. I'm struggling, and I think part of why I'm rambling so much is to kind of it's sort of almost like even though what I'm talking about is the fact that I'm struggling, it's also a means of sort of masking that, or compensating for it, like joking about it. It's like a way of coping with the anxiety of being seen as sort of struggling. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to uncover and reveal and be vulnerable with this, and to show a little corner of the world what it looks like for one person who's sort of struggling and living with being neurodivergent. For people who are not neurodivergent, to learn and have an understanding of, oh, this is what it looks like. My child is not just being difficult, they're actually struggling, or my friend really can't do that thing, or my brother-in-law isn't just a lazy prick, he's actually really struggling because he's got ADHD. That there's a lot to it, and like I'm actually really surprised at how much I've washed the dishes in the last week. One thing that actually helped was like I spend so much time like self-isolating, not just like outside of the whole COVID stuff, self-isolating thing, but as a way of living, that forming new friendships and going out and being social is actually like changing how I behave at home. And it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna have friends over and I have to present a particular way, because I don't have a lot of people over, and even then it is what it is. But I went to this social event, it was really lovely, and I actually helped wash dishes, like I volunteered to do that. And I think partly it was because it's a way of actually helping me avoid being social, but also because I like to be helpful. So I was washing dishes and I was like, actually it's not so bad. Like I started getting to the point where like wrinkly fingers, that's an unhappy place for me, and then I was able to step away for a bit, and then I volunteered to read some poetry aloud, which I did, and I read some of my own writing, which was nice. But doing that was like, oh, this is not so bad. Like with really hot soapy dishwater, it's not so bad. And now that I have this solution, I can do that a bit more easily. And I have since washed a few loads of dishes, which is like outstanding for me. But washing dishes is always one of my tasks that I struggle with, as is laundry, and that's one reason why you'll see me here doing laundry a lot, because for me, I don't remember the last time that I actually had all of my laundry done. I don't think it's ever happened. And that might be like an indicator that maybe I should get rid of a lot of my things, which could possibly be helpful, but at the same time, I'm not about to start doing like a whole declutter, replace cycle thing. Like there are things that I will get rid of over time and things that will get replaced, but I definitely don't want to make that a pattern. And I know myself, like I have a shopping problem, which you'll get to know quite well as I sort of do this. Like I am going to be doing thrift with me, and I have done I think one thrift with me so far. That's part of what I'll be doing because it's something that I love, but also like being mindful of what I'm doing, and shopping online because I have feelings. Like I watched, this is going to be old news by the time this goes live, but I watched the first half of the most recent season of Bridgerton, and watching that, like all the swoony stuff, to me, it doesn't make me feel like, oh, I want a partner. It makes me feel like, oh, I want to shop, which is something, right? So for me, it's like I want to capture that feeling of yearning and beauty and lust and like romance. And for some reason it stopped filming. I guess you don't want to hear about romance, neither do I. Yeah, romance makes me want to shop. It doesn't make me want to be with someone. Anyway, I have finished this, so that's 2 tasks now complete with stripping the bed and doing this. And it's going to rain, I think. There's just a little bit of thunder. So, I guess I'll get on with this even though I really don't want to. And actually, the laundry has just finished in perfect time for it to be really, really raining. And I would normally hang my larger stuff over this. So that's helpful.
It is kind of lovely though. There's not much I can really do about this situation. But it lets me off the hook in regards to attempting to do any more laundry, which is always fun. Hopefully I can find some clean sheets for the bed. I know there are some somewhere. It's just a matter of the right ones, the ones that actually fit the mattress. Because it's like a relatively new bed, and I have like only 2 sets to alternate, and everything else is old, which I think is good. I think it's better to try and be a little bit more minimal in that regard. But yeah, that's that. Storming on laundry day. I'm going to use something like this in the title. Okay, back to this. When I got these, and when I showed these in the previous video, I decided that I would use these on the kitchen countertop as a way of like keeping it more organized. And the thing that I wanted to do is be like, anything that doesn't fit in these two has to be put away somewhere. So the things that will go in here will be the things that get the most use. It's like the stuff that goes in them at this point in time, it's not going to be aesthetic. This is not going to happen. But hopefully it will be useful. So I think my brain is like, how about I just start, like I'm going to have to, depending on what gets put into them, I might need to empty them again, but I'm thinking I'm just going to bring stuff from the countertop and put them straight into here, the things that I know that I use a lot, and go from there as the sort of clearing the countertop process. Here we go. sesame oil, peanut butter, these thingies, fennel seeds, I think. These get used a lot. LOC. Coconut, more coconut, cardamom. Okay, so maybe I could put these in here and put this away. Okay, real talk. Doing this has made me realize that there's very few things on the kitchen countertop that I actually use on a regular basis because I basically don't cook or do very, very little cooking. So basically what you're seeing here is stuff that goes into my smoothies and stuff that goes into the baked beans that I eat every day because that's like my safe food. Here we go. This is helpful. And like stuff that I make tea with. In all honesty, probably everything else could get thrown out. But no, there's stuff. There's stuff. A lot of tea stuff. Okay, I got a tin here I can put all of this stuff into, I think. Wait a sec. Let's get rid of that. And shove all of this in here. I feel like I probably need to at some point separate all of like the minty teas from the others because it just smells so strong, and I feel like surely if it smells like this, everything is going to taste like this. Like everything is going to sort of end up with like a bit of a minty aftertaste. Just from being stored in the same kind of containers. There we go. It's like a lot of peppermint and green tea in here at the moment. It would have been good to like mix that up so it's not all at the top, but it doesn't matter. And I've got some other tea around in. Okay, so I am running out of space on my phone and battery, so we're gonna do this real quick. I've more or less filled out these two things. I have just pushed all of this that was on there to here. I'm gonna quickly wipe this down and then bring the trays over, and I'm going to try and shove most of this into a container. Yes, I'm sweeping straight onto the floor. That's the kind of person I am. There is like some serious residue going on here, but to be honest, I'm probably just going to put stuff on top of it. Wait a second, I had a thingy here, a sponge. That's like got that, which will maybe hopefully help get rid of some of it. I just cleared out a bunch of stuff on my camera because it completely ran out of space. So I don't know, maybe I have more space now than I did a moment ago. And that's making me think I don't need to rush as much as I thought I did a second ago. Like, there's no way I was ever going to get all this done in a minute, but I was like, maybe I can just like do it all in under 10 and then just show you the result. But now I think I have some space and I'm like, well, maybe I should make some kind of attempt to do it properly. I don't know. Okay, this is actually working better than I expected. But still, the battery's running low and I'm running low on energy, and I just would like to get this like some version of done. See how dirty that is? I feel like I want a bucket to rinse this in, but I also don't want to bother doing that. Run out of energy and I've run out of things to say. There are like multiple spiders making themselves home in the kitchen. Okay, so the battery of the camera ran flat while I was filming this. It didn't take very long, but I wanted to show you where I got up to and finish this video up. So we've got our new pile of dirty dishes that need to be washed, our empty sink, hurrah. We've got our container here that I threw all of the random stuff into, pretty much all tea and coffee stuff, very few cooking basics and stuff for my smoothies, and the countertops that are now like sort of clear and sort of clean. There's still definitely more than a little bit of residue left, but this is like a lot cleaner than I thought it would be, and I feel like that looks kind of cute, and when it's actually cleaned it'll be amazing. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.